Hey folks, I just wanted to share with you today some of my own lessons learned with food storage. I've been at it a little bit and hopefully I can share some things that I've found out that might make it a little bit easier on you. First, I'd like to talk about basic canned foods. A lot of people get started using canned foods, and I still stock a lot of canned foods, and we work them regularly into what we use in the house. They are a good way to go for a beginner. First and foremost is, let's talk about protein sources. Canned foods are a really good way to get dense protein when you don't have refrigeration and you don't have livestock of your own. Our diet is full of dense animal protein, and this is going to be severely lacking when there is a WROL type situation. As you can see here, I've got canned ham, canned salmon, canned tuna, and canned chicken. All of these are useful, and I can work them through my family's menu by adding chunked ham to a salad or whatever. Now, you'll see on my cans that I've written on the top the month year. This is the month year that I put it into storage. As you know, there's an expiration date on the can. These are located in all different places, and just for ease of maintenance of my stock, I've used a grease pencil or China marker. As soon as I come home from the grocery store, I'll go ahead and write month year on it and move it to the back. You do want to rotate your stock, of course. Some things that I like and have found out is canned juice. I like to drink juice. It's not readily available anymore. I did find some apple juice in cans, but the majority of what you're going to find is pineapple juice or V8 type, vegetable type juices in a can. The other stuff, they used to have it a lot more, but now that they've gone to frozen, they just don't stock it as much. Size does matter. Here I've got a huge can of apple slices. Good stuff. I bought this early on, and what I thought about, once I got to thinking about it, I realized that once I opened it, I pretty much would have to consume it. Because, again, we're in a situation with no refrigeration. I'm working on a root cellar, which will help out, but going with a big can means that you have to get rid of it all at once. I prefer brewed coffee, and we keep a good supply of brewed coffee on hand, but I have read that instant coffee stores indefinitely. So I've got a year's supply of what my household would drink of instant coffee. Doesn't taste great, but it'll do in a pinch. Here you'll see a luxury item, chocolate. Now, this is not a food group, contrary to what you might believe. However, this does make a great trade item after the fact. Little luxury goes a long way. It's in a can, so it'll keep a long time. This is UHT milk. I live far in the country. If I run out of milk, even though the dairy is fairly close, it's not like being in the city where you can just run out and get something. UHT milk does not taste great, but it stores for a very long time on the shelf. We keep some around the house just for when we do happen to run out of milk at the last minute. I then started to stock it with my preps. One thing that I did find out is, although I've got a very good storeroom, mice will eventually get in there, and they did get in there and went through and chewed the bottom corner off of a bunch of these boxes, making a horrible mess that I had to clean up in the storeroom. So mice will chew just to see what's in something. I've moved all of these that I've stored into a plastic tub that should secure it a lot better from rodents. Big white 5-gallon drums. A lot of folks will buy these right on off the bat. I have a bunch of them and they are great. However, I did learn some things. When I started, I would put all my staples in these 5-gallon tubs, such as rice, beans, wheat, etc. Going from YouTube videos, I learned to get these Mylar bags and these oxygen absorbers. Place, for example, if I was doing rice, I'd place one of the oxygen absorbers in the bottom of the Mylar bag. I'd fill it with rice, put another one near the top, fold it over a little bit. I was using a 2x4 and put it on the fold on the 2x4 and use an iron to iron it closed and into the drum. What I learned later on is that if I wanted to use some of that rice, I would have had to open this up. Now you can theoretically reseal these, not too much of a problem there. However, there go your oxygen absorbers, used up. What I did move to is 1-gallon Mylar bags and putting 5 of them into this 5-gallon bucket. Now let me talk about what I feel is the most essential prep items that you can have around the house, especially if you garden or plan to garden after an emergency happens. That's the humble mason jar. I believe that I need to stock 200 to 300 of these in various sizes. Why? Because they're a great way to store things. More importantly, lids. The lids, the inner lid, is supposed to be a one-time use item. This has your rubber seal and seals it tight so your food is preserved. You're not supposed to reuse them, or else you'll risk screwing up your food, getting botulism or whatever. Now, once I use a lid, I will put it aside for use as dry storage or whatever. But knowing that I'm going to need a new lid every year, my goal is to stock 10 lids, essentially 10 years worth of lids for each jar in the house. The good thing is a box of 12 lids costs $1.78. So just every time I'm in the big box store, I'll pick up a couple of boxes. Over time, I'll have it saved up and it won't be much effort. Coupled with that, we've got the canning kit. And this is a basic canning kit that I was able to get for about $15 on sale. I did not know how to can, but taught myself how to can. This is a handy skill. I will eventually move to pressure canning, which is a different skill set entirely from what I understand, and is a bit more complex. But for basic water bath canning, to preserve what you've grown in your garden, you are going to need this canning set. So, in summary, the most important point here on this table I would go with is the mason jar. Can't ever have enough of these. Canned food is good for starters, and it's good as long as you rotate it out, mark it properly, and get the stuff that you need and the stuff that they'll use. These big buckets are great, but consider using the 1-gallon Mylar bag versus the big 5-gallon Mylar bag. That's about all I've got. Thanks for listening. Stay safe.